SGC here, and we are back for a movie review.
싹 다 그 양반 영혼에 생긴 일들 아니오. 여기 다 뭔 일이다냐 그래.
요소 다 죽어붙었어.
직접 본 거야?
한번 봤지.
The Wailing, directed by Hong-jin, the guy that did his feature film debut on The Chaser, which came out in 2008. That was an amazing thriller and a great feature film. And later on he goes off and does The Yellow Sea, and which stars Hwang Jung-min back in 2010. Hwang Jung-min is blowing up now. He's in everything. And The Wailing has won a few Best Director and Best Screenplay awards, so congrats. So this movie stars Kwak Do-won, who I last saw in Azura, The City of Madness, which was great. That's on Netflix. Check it out. And Hwang Jung-min, also the guy who's just blowing up everywhere in Korean films. He's just in every film, basically. And he's also in Azura, City of Madness. Go check that out. So what's this movie about? It's about a policeman who is investigating a series of mysterious killings and illnesses in his town. And things go nuts. Nutsos. Like, whoa. And that's basically the entire film. So what did I think? Well, first off, to be totally honest, I actually bought this Blu-ray when I found out it existed right after watching The Chaser, and it's just been sitting on my shelf for the longest time because I just never got around to it, because, you know, physical copies are nice to own, but when there's Netflix, you're tending to just, you know, watch it through that. And I think it was on Netflix for a bit. And I remember someone saying to me that they didn't particularly like this, and I actually didn't know who it was, and I thought it was someone else who I look up to all the time. And I was like, oh, he didn't like it, so that must be like issues. Like, what is the issue? So I was having a critical eye for it much more than I would have if I didn't hear that comment. But holy crap, this movie was great. Like just concept and just the vibe and the narrative. Okay, first of all, this is a long horror film. It's a 2-hour, 35-minute film, and that's long. There's a clear cut of part 1 and part 2 in this. Part 1 is just more of like the police investigating of just what's happening, like all these random deaths or just these random massacres. Not massacres, or just really crazy, awful killings. And then people just getting sick and contorting and being weird. The center point of it being in the same town, and I really enjoy that sort of neighborhood vibe. And it is just like this thing that invades this neighborhood, and at the same time there's a Japanese man who shows up. I really do wonder how did the Japanese see this film, because it clearly paints a bad picture for the Japanese. But anyways, like it's a really engaging in terms of the narrative. Like, you're really wanting to know what's gonna go down, but at the same time our main lead as a police officer is so, you don't root for him. I didn't root for him because he just was lackluster in terms of his job as a dad, and just like no one really looked up to him. So I was like, oh, this guy. But then things started happening, and he's just like, I'm gonna get down to this because it's affecting my daughter. And then he gets things done. And then Hwang Jung-min plays a part, and it's like, oh, a very interesting part. And there was a very crazy effect that I really loved in terms of the whole narrative, where there's a lot of blood happening, and that really puts a spin on things. So I think the biggest thing here is, like, I wasn't sure if this is like straight up horror or what's going on, and it was just like a thriller drama type of thing, and they were like dream sequences. Are they dream sequences? Who knows, type of thing. And there's like twists, and it just makes you guess. And then when the final reveal happens, you're like, holy crap, this explains everything. What? So there's that. Jun Kunimura, I actually do know someone in this, so he's in a lot of Japanese films, but he plays a really frustrating character in a sense, where when key moments happen, he doesn't have dialogue, and it's just like, damn it, why is this guy not speaking? Just explain your case. And it's just frustrating, and it's just this lack of communication. But then once the movie like unfolds fully, you're like, oh, I understand everything now. So I love that thing where it just frustrates the crap out of you, and it's like, this is such a simple problem, solve it now. And then people are just going nuts and nuts and nuts, because it does harken back to the whole, like, you see the madness and you become the madness. Because there's scenes where people just like figure out what happened, and they like see it, and they're just like so shocked. If you just told everyone the story, maybe more people have survived. There's like a shaman scene. I don't think I've seen an exorcist shaman thing recently, so that was interesting to just see all the dancing and all the cutting. So yeah, it's a 2.5 hour film. It is pretty long, so I didn't finish this in a sitting. It took a while, and it was kind of more dread, so it did creep a lot. So I enjoy that, right? Actually watching it, I'm like, wow, this is his third film. I finished half of the Yellow Sea, and then I think I just never got back to it because I got busy. So, but definitely the Yellow Sea that's a different vehicle in all of itself compared to Chaser, the Wailing, and the Yellow Sea. It's just like this guy has great form, and I cannot wait to check out his next film, whenever that's gonna be, because he's a great director and one to look out for. So yeah, overall, I mean, the performance from the child actor that plays our main lead's son, she's pretty good. Lot of commitment in terms of just switching back and forth between her bubbly self and when things starts happening. I mean, granted, like going into this like blind will make you frustrated in the beginning, but as things unfold, you're like, holy crap, what is happening? And I think the subject matter is different from your typical horror thing as well. Sort of combines a lot of different elements of like this Asian demonology type of style, and just like, oh, okay, cool. So I appreciate that. Anyways, that's it. 2016, great. Check it out. And that is it for this movie review for The Wailing. Out.